right, so you were single this Valentine's Day, which is absolutely fine. It is not a bad thing at all to be single on a Valentine's Day. And but that being said, in this video, I'll be talking about how you can find love, real love, not fake love. So if you're thinking about, let's say, hookup or something casual or a fling, then this video, I'm sorry, my friend, is not for you. To give you an overview, I'll be talking about three things you need to do as a man before you can even start thinking about finding love. Then I'll be talking about 6 steps to find a suitable woman. And then I will be talking about 3 tips on how you can make love last. So feel free to scroll between any of these sections. If you feel like, okay, you've already done the things that are needed, then you can just skip to the next one. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. There are 3 things you need to do before you can find real love. So the first thing is understanding who you are. Before you can even, find someone and understand them, you need to first understand yourself. What are your values? What are your strengths? And what you absolutely do not want in a partner? That is crucial for you to understand. If you don't know how you can understand yourself better, then I'll give you a test called the values test, which is linked below down in the description, and you can kind of use that test to actually figure out what are your values. And it is really crucial to understand what are your values, because here's the thing, right? If whatever action you take, if that action is aligned with your values, then you will feel happy. It will nourish your soul and you will feel fulfilled. But whatever actions, for example, whatever job or whatever business or whatever action it is that you are doing on a regular basis, if it is not aligned with your values, then it's going to bleed you out. And after some time, you'll start feeling burnt out. You'll start feeling depressed. You'll start feeling anxious. So that is why it's really important for you to first understand your values and your strengths as well. So I have linked both of these tests down below. You can take them and it's going to help you tremendously. Number 2, find your purpose. It is really important for you as a man to find your purpose. And by purpose, I don't mean, something that's really big. Oh, this is my purpose in life. But you need to first understand what are your goals, current goals, and they should not be very small. They should be somewhat ambitious, and they should be aligned with your values and your strengths as well. That being said, if you don't know how you can actually find your purpose, let me just give you a guide. Figure out your values and then figure out your strengths. Then out of those values and strengths, think, out of these things, what is it that you want to do that is going to help you make this world a better place, provide people some value, and help you make money in the process as well. So, for example, if I were to talk to you about my purpose, so I believe my purpose in life is to be the strongest, healthiest, and the most competent version of myself while helping others accomplish the same through my unique abilities through my unique ability to communicate with clarity, impact, and influence. Similarly, you can think about what are your unique abilities and how do you want to use them to help people. Third thing you need to do is become stable. So you need to become stable emotionally, financially, and physically. What does this mean? That means have your emotions under control. Don't be very impulsive. If you are unstable with your emotions, you'll find a partner that is unstable with their emotions. Okay, that is number 1. Number 2 is become stable financially. It's pretty straightforward. Find a way to make a living, and in that living you need to be stable. You need to be, not in terms of, like, you don't, if you're surviving right now, then you will not be able to attract someone that is stable, and both of you will just become survivors and there's going to be a lot of chaos. But on the other hand, if you are stable, then you can even attract someone that is stable. Okay, and then again, third thing is become stable physically. By that I mean take care of your health. Don't be obese, Don't be undernourished as well. Both of these things are not good. Obviously, I don't think I need to elaborate more upon that. Once you've done this, then it's time to find a partner. And there are 6 steps that you can take as a man to find a woman that is suitable for you. So, step number one is picking a platform to find the right partner. So, depending upon what is your comfort zone, what is it that you want to do, what are your strengths, pick a platform. It could be something, let's say, for example, a dating app, Bumble or Hinge, correct? So now, if I were to talk about myself, I consider myself to be not bad looking, so I'm decent looking. I think I have a good dressing sense, a good fashion sense. I have a good sense of, clicking pictures as well, and I'm good at communicating. I can speak well. I can communicate with clarity, and I can be funny as well if I want to be. With that in mind, I could use Hinge as well. I have used dating apps, but to be honest, that is not my preferred choice. I don't, you know. So I was just saying this to kind of give you an overview. So if you're someone that's good at texting or all of that, making the first move, and you have a good personality, and let's say you're not that good in terms of dressing sense, then Hinge is better for you because you can make a move and things of that nature. Or let's say, for example, if you are someone that's really good at communicating in person and you can approach people and you can talk to them, then just go to a cafe. And that cafe should be something that is aligned with your interest. For example, let's say if you're a healthy person, go to a health oriented cafe. If you are a person that likes to read a lot, go to a cafe that has a bookish vibe, a vibe that is more intellectual. If you're a working person and you want to find someone that's more into working and things of that nature, then find a co-working place. If you're into fitness, again, you can find a gym, and so on and so forth. So you get the idea. After you've picked the platform, the second step you need to take is be presentable. Here's the thing, right? Nobody wants to be with someone that is not presentable. Would you go with a girl? Would you go with a woman that is unpresentable, that does not take care of her hygiene, that does not take care of her appearance, that is shabby all the time, and is just unmanaged? Would you like that? I don't think so. And neither would a woman want a man that is all of the things that I just mentioned before. Dress up, smell nice, have a good body language, and communicate and speak properly. These are some of the basic things that you need to understand in order to even begin talking and kind of finding someone. Third step is, once you've, let's say, picked a platform, once you've become presentable, you've, let's say, put a profile that's presentable, or you've dressed presentably well, the next step is to select a person to approach. On dating apps, that's pretty straightforward. Swipe and then message if you match, or if it's Hinge, then you get to message first. But let's say if it's a cafe and if it's an in-person thing, then what you need to do is that, first and foremost, before you even start talking to the person, build a good image. And what I mean by that is, if you are uncomfortable, or if, let's say, they might be uncomfortable in getting approached by you immediately, talk to the people around. Let's say you're in a cafe and you know that they are at a certain place, and you don't want to look creepy, you don't want to make them uncomfortable when you approach. Then you can kind of talk to other people that are in their vision, to make them kind of comfortable indirectly, so that they feel, okay, you know what, he's not just talking to me, he kind of is talking to people in general. And then after you've talked to a couple of people in vicinity, then you can kind of approach her and talk to her, and make her, and also make sure that the person that you are talking to feels comfortable. That is the most important thing. If they don't feel comfortable talking, just respect that and move on. So once you feel like, okay, you know what, this person is comfortable in talking to me, talk to them, and then kind of ask them what are their interests, try to figure out what their values are. Now when you ask them directly, oh, can you tell me what are your values, they might not be as comfortable because they might not be aware of the concept. But it is said that in order to find someone that is actually really compatible with you, out of 5 values, 5 top values, 2 or 3 should align. The more values align, the better the relationship is going to be in terms of understanding. Not interests, but values. For example, your interest could be, let's say, playing basketball, correct? But your value behind that is fitness, and her value and her interest is also basketball, but the value behind that is not fitness. It's just fun, enjoyment, or it's not health, basically, correct? So in that scenario there is a value conflict. So it's not about interests, it's about values. And to find out more, you can ask her, what do you like to do in your free time, correct? So let's say if they like to read self-help books, then you know that their value is growth. If they like to meditate, then one of their values is also well-being. After, let's say, you have a values align, then the next thing you want to make sure is happening is there should be an alignment in energy, and you should be a complementary opposite of one another. Let's say if you are someone that's very dynamic, very spontaneous, then if they are also someone that is very dynamic and very spontaneous, then there are going to be times when both of you are very energetic, but then you might burn each other out and the spark is going to go away very quickly. But let's say if you are a complementary opposite of each other, that means you are very dynamic, but she's someone that's composed and calm, then there's going to be a polarity in the relationship for a long time, correct? So keep that in mind. And again, if they are someone that's very dynamic, then you have to be someone that's calm and composed, because only then do you have a balance. Otherwise things go out of balance and it becomes very chaotic. Then the next step is to basically ask them out. Simple. Start dating. And if there is really an alignment, they are going to say yes. If they don't feel, or if you don't feel there is an alignment, then it's not going to work, obviously, correct? So you get what I'm trying to say. Yeah, just follow these 6 steps, and hopefully you will be able to start going on dates, and they are going to be good dates as well that have good potential in them. Now, how can you make love last? So I'll be talking about 3 tips on how you can make love last. First and foremost, take things slow. Don't be in a rush to just kind of get with each other. Don't be too fast that, okay, you met the second date, and you just started making out third date, you're basically on the third base on, or whatever. You get what I'm trying to say, right? Take things slow, because when things start too fast, they also end quickly, and you don't want that if they are someone that is your real love. So be willing to take things slow, and it is your job to control the speed and the growth of intimacy in a relationship as a man. Tip number 2: schedule away time. Don't be very clingy. Don't try and consume and occupy all of their time. You don't want to appear like that. Have some goals, have your own life, have your own work schedule that is very separate, and you shouldn't be over invested in the relationship. I mean, you should be the right amount of invested, is basically what I'm trying to say. Give them space, and you have your own space as well, because here's the thing, right? Over familiarity leads to resentment. When you become too over familiar with them in a very short amount of time, then you kind of start to resent some of their behaviors, and you want to stay away from them. That's not just with a romantic partner, but even with your family. You'll observe, when you spend too much time with them, you start getting irritated really quickly, and it's natural. So similarly, you don't want to over familiarize yourself with her too quickly. The third tip is understand each other's love language. There's this book called The Five Love Languages. First one is words of affirmation, wherein you compliment each other and you make each other comfortable and happy by giving each other words of affirmation, such as compliments like, oh, you look wonderful, you're so amazing, when you do this is just amazing, I love how you're so dedicated towards your work, I love how you make sure that everyone around is comfortable. So that is what words of affirmation are. Number 2 is quality time. Just time which spending time with each other, getting to know each other, understanding each other, and or just having your undivided attention. You giving them your undivided attention and them giving you their undivided attention. So that's quality time. And the third love language is acts of service. Serving each other. Let's say you making breakfast for her or bringing her a cup of coffee. Acts of service that make them feel happy, make their life easier and more convenient. And the fourth love language is gifts. I don't think I need to say anything more. You understand what I'm trying to say. And the fifth love language is physical touch. So talk with each other about what is it that is your favorite love language, or what are some of your favorite love languages that both of you would like to use for each other. But these are the things you need to keep in mind when it comes to finding real love. That being said, my name is Mohit, and with this channel my goal is to help you be the most powerful and the most confident version of yourself. So if that is something that interests you, do with the subscribe button. Let me know down in the comments what you think about this video. So yeah, that's all from my side, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. Take care.